Well, I have no idea if I have audio at this point. I can't tell. I know that I can mute my microphone, but I'm just trying to go live without using OBS, just because my laptop is on its final days and I'm due for a new one. So what we have here is a Bruno Banjolin, and we are getting her all set up for playability. And right now, I'm in the midst of, I thought I'd go live with this because it's going to be rare that anyone sees one of these. There aren't a lot of them out there. So we're getting the neck angle correct, and I'm driving these shims in here to pull the neck angle down just a little bit. And there we go. So now I have that all dialed in, and I've gotten the tensioning rod almost where I want it. It's pretty darn close. I have to be careful with these because you can bend them, and I'm going to loosen this just a bit and see what happens with our neck angle. Okay, it's all right. And this did have a washer in it, and I want to check that. Okay, I can see that I am definitely going to want to put that washer back in there. I just removed it because I wanted to see if I could pull back on the neck a little bit. Oh, hey, Camellia, you might really appreciate this one, knowing you a little bit and the style of music that you like. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to put this washer in here without having to take the neck all the way off. And in doing this, what I'm going to do, I can see that it will work for sure. This has an original gut head, and it's really, not that you can't get a gut head anymore, but most of them are composite materials, nylon or Teflon or other sorts of lawns. Oh, come on. So I'm getting this washer in here. This will take me a second. This is not terribly exciting, and I know that you can't see what I'm doing right now, but trust me, the world's, what is it? I've heard people saying it. Trust me. Okay. And see how we end up here. We're going to go ahead and go with that. And now we are going to cinch things up with these little wood shims that get driven in here. And what that's going to do, it's going to pull the heel of the neck in, which will tilt the headstock backwards further. This one had a little upswing in it, and it made the string action really high. And we don't want high string action. We want nice and low string action, especially on a mandolin. They have particularly low string action. Using a small block of wood here so as to not have to strike the inside of the instrument with a hammer. Okay, and I will get you in on what's going on here. So I can get this. Yeah, that's not going to go any further. So we're going to call that good right there. So what we're looking for is this. When I received this, there was about a 3 millimeter gap here, and now I've removed a little bit of material on the neck, and have been able to get that neck to tilt backwards. So today we're going to do a new bridge on this thing. And let me get you down here, and forgive me, I know my camera guy is not keeping up. And we're we are going to use a new bridge, and I'm going to, on this particular bridge, I'm going to sand off the slots in this because they're not in the correct position. So we're going to do this, and I'll show you how I do this. To try and maintain a level sanding surface, I go one direction, just a few swipes, and then I go another direction. If you're adjusting the string action on a saddle on a guitar, something like that, this is a good way to do it if you're grinding on a saddle or removing material off the bottom of a saddle. One direction, then flip it around. That way it keeps all the rocking that you might be doing kind of uniform. The rocking back and forth, or the unlevelness that you can get from doing that. Now I'm using my fingernail to make sure that the top of this piece is level. And all right, so I've gotten all the slots out of that. I can feel with my fingernail that the slots are gone. Now what I'm going to do is copy the slots from the old bridge to the new one, because the string spacing is really vital on these. So as you can see, I've got a pretty good matchup here, and the feet match up really nicely too. I mean, it's pretty close, and there aren't any marks. You can see that there aren't any marks from the bridge on the old head. Now, this is not the original head that was, or not the original bridge that was on this guitar. The reason I'm changing it is because over time, these bridges get a belly in them, or an underbow is what you might call it. And so the center strings are actually lower than the outer strings because this gets bent. And you might be able to see that in this. Let me look at it. Yeah, you can see the curve in this. So it's got an underbow. So I'm going to try not to talk too terribly much on this broadcast because kind of in a hurry today, because the young lady that brought this in she's going on a camping trip, it sounds like. And I want to try and get this back to her before she has to leave, so maybe she can take the bridge with her. So what I'm doing, my little pencil here, is marking the string spacing. Now I've got 3 notches here and 3 notches here, and I got 2 here. Now I know I'm not doing it on the top of this because I can really do this easily from the side. So I'm looking at I think the person who put this saddle on didn't do what I did and remove the notches. This is a banjo saddle for a 5-string banjo, and I don't know how well my camera is going to pick this up, and I don't know if I have audio. I'm using YouTube. I'm not using OBS. Justin, hello, man. Good to see you today. I don't know how well you can see my marks on here, but I can see that, yes, I got my string spacing correct. So I'm gonna move these marks up to the top. Boy, this is hard to see. There we go. It must be, the audio must be working, because I'm just running my camera directly into YouTube without using OBS. Seems like a pretty efficient way to do it. And the old laptop that I got here that I'm running all this stuff through, the RAM finally gave up in it, and so ultimately ultimately, and I can see that this is tilted back, which I like, so it will sit with the bridge or the tailpiece back here. Now I'm just going to make tiny little notches here. I'm going to turn on some light. This is really difficult to see. There we go. I'm using my thumbnail to guide this saw into those spaces. Just need to make a little teeny slot here for each of these strings. You wouldn't do this on a guitar saddle. Banjos, and I missed that one. Get it right on that line. Kind of cool that I can see that I've hit the line. It removes my mark. Now, I know that this bridge is a little bit too tall already, so I will be removing more of these slots. I'll making them deeper as the work progresses. And this is just to score this thing. Again, to get these, keep the string spacing exactly where it was. It's nice to have this little bridge saddle in a clamp to hold it still. And you can see I've missed that mark right there, which is fine. Got on the outside of it there. Pretty easy to do. Kind of hard to see. All right, now because I've missed that a couple times, I'm going to get myself some better light. And it's nice to clamp this bridge down. Oh, and I meant to send her a link to this live stream, so maybe she could watch my watch me do some work on her instrument. She has spent a lot of time playing violin, and her she kept walking into a music store where she was going to school and kept seeing this mandolins hanging in the window. And Mom and Dad got it for her as a graduation present. So I think a high school graduation gift. All right, so got these lined up now. We are definitely this direction. Bass, treble. That way, if I have to pull the strings back off this, and forgive me, my camera guy, he drinks a lot. So now we can see this as bass and treble side of the new bridge. And I know that again, I'm going to have to do some work on the slots. Oops, let me get this out of the way. All right, so, and we've got our tailpiece here. And we have tilted our neck back a little bit already. I saved you guys the agony of having to watch me do that. Now, I want to be certain that this screw, kind of tough. I want to see how this fits, because I don't know if this screw is, oh yeah, that's going to work great. We got plenty of fall away. All right, my journeyman's sitting here watching me do this, because this is a pretty delicate job, and this is, I don't know, maybe you could look up a Bruno mandolin and see what they're worth. If anybody cares, hey, Robbie, what's up? Audio and video are good. Cool, man. Thank you for that, Justin. And forgive me for not, I got to stay focused here. But the old laptop is doing all of this with 4 GB of RAM. Look at that. It works.
Yep.
It's working. All right, so we're going to start putting the strings on this thing right now. Actually, before I do that, I don't want to get that far ahead of myself. I'm kind of trying to hustle with this one. I'm not going to hurry, but I do want to get this thing done today. And if I have to work late today, I certainly will. So I'm going to clean this fingerboard up a little bit. It's in really good shape, but I doubt it's been treated for a long time. So we're going to do that. And in the process of doing it, I'm going to polish these frets. Now, what shall I use? Well, I know you guys see this all the time, but not me working on a Bruno Banjolin. Manjo. So I'm just going to go ahead and see how nice we can make these frets look. Way too much, which is perfect. See how these shouldn't change a lot. I doubt they'll turn silver. They might have that brass material in them, but we'll kind of get an idea of what the neck will look like with all these nice shiny frets. None of the frets are poking out the side. The fretwork on this is really great, and they don't make them like this. Oh, it looks like, Stu, what do you think the inlays in this are? I know the stuff in the headstock is abalone. There ain't no question.
Right.
It's not paint, and then you can see the fill. Is it wood?
Let me look at it.
Kind of has some grain, but
yeah, they sanded it. You know, they made it more of a texture because they wanted it to look more like a bone-ish kind of a thing. But I believe it's plastic.
Plus plastic, like a pick guard off of a
early plastic.
Yeah.
It could be bone, but I doubt it. Because usually bone isn't that white and that flat. So,
it's definitely got some grain kind of maybe put in it by the builder, like you said, to kind of make it look like it was wood or something. But I'm thinking you're right.
Pretty white inlay. It's pretty white.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not mother of pearl. It's definitely more of that bone, hardwood kind of a look to me.
That's abalone, isn't it? Or
this is mother of pearl, but it's colored, really heavy colored.
Yeah.
It's not into the full abalone kind of look.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people think that was, mother of pearl, but it's not. And it's not ivory.
Not ivory, no.
These are celluloid buttons because those ivory ones that have the metal rings.
Yeah.
And this definitely...
They'd be crumbled off of there already. No, not the ivory ones.
Boy, it sure has that darn vintage plastic look to it. But
well, I'm going to clean it here in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and clean the neck like I normally do to get all the... And we can get a nice clean surface to put oil on. And I'm likely those look a whole lot nicer now. I can see some...
Boy, it's hard without a good magnifier.
The only one I've got is that, well, I've got my phone.
Oh, right, I do too. I should have thought of that.
Use the old phone.
There we go. I'm not seeing any real true grain on it. It looks like it's sanded grain.
Yeah.
And look at the inlays there up on the, yeah, they overcut them. And the filler's not appropriate.
And it's way, that was done in a hurry.
Yep,
Right.
they knocked them out in the factory.
Yeah.
Yep, they definitely look like sander scratches to me.
Like some form of plastic that's been roughly.
And it's not bone, and it's not, but it's put in multiple pieces. So, because I should notice right here, see, you see the seams. There is seams, so it's not putty.
No,
See, it wouldn't have seams like that. They definitely hand cut this. It's bone.
Bone.
Yeah, they wouldn't have cut it like that with it being plastic. They would have just doped it, put it in there.
So what we're talking about is like these pieces here. If you look, like right here on this leaf, where these two leaves come out, the center piece is its own piece, and then the leaves, each leaf is its own piece. So it's definitely not wood putty. And
this is celluloid. The strings are celluloid, and this might be celluloid, but it sure looks like bone to me.
Yeah. Let me clean it a little bit.
And all to take away that dissimilar. I think they said it's a builder's trick. They said it to make it all look like it's one.
Right, kind of rough
material. Yeah.
Rough.
But it sure has a bone look to it.
To be real gentle cleaning this, but we want to
but it has that cow bone look to it.
That is my favorite toothbrush. It's already dirty. Clean this a little bit. Pretty cool to be able to work on something like this and this old. We don't see instruments this old terribly often. And I'm going to go ahead and see how this fits. Try and protect the head a little bit. There we go.
There you go.
Now we can keep the simple green at least from getting too heavy on the. The neck is actually pretty clean. It's not like it's covered in DNA. And it's definitely rough sanded.
It definitely is.
But I'm going over it now, and cleaning it up definitely is going to give us a little better look at it ultimately. Let's see. And I'm really doing this to get all the stuff off the wood so I can get a good oil treatment on this, because it's probably been a long time since this thing had oil, I would guess, unless the shop that she got it from put oil on it, which they may have. If they knew what we do, they would have oiled the neck, even if it was just slapping some oil on it. A little cleaner. See that right there?
Yeah, I'm thinking about something. It's kind of
almost looks like a repair spot. I kind of want to see if I can get.
Well, they touch these so much, you know, and the sweat soaks in and stains things, and it's not parchment. You know, I've seen parchment inlays, and they're definitely not parchment inlays because they'd be stained.
It does look like it's all the same material. I mean,
but these little fine ones, they definitely did not cut those little fine. That is like something they used that was fairly flat, and they stuck it in there. There would be no reason they put that much labor into it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take a stab at this.
Let's see. Yeah.
Be really gentle. There's this shiny material right here, and I just want to see. Yeah. I'm guessing what that is that somebody may have glued one of these inlays back in, and it's just a little bit. I was
wondering if they popped one.
Yeah. So I'm trying to go around here and get rid of all those glue spots that I can find. Now that I know it's glue, I don't have to be quite so gentle. But these frets have definitely been glued in with some CA glue at some point.
Yep,
I can see that.
On this, yeah.
Okay. And I'm doing my best to not touch the inlays with my razor blade, or as Mr. Stradivarius would have called it, scraper. There we go. Be really careful here.
And I'm not seeing any sign of somebody doing one of those after the fact inlay jobs, because it doesn't have any, you know, it doesn't have any no marker telltales on this fret. So somebody didn't do it after the fact inlay job.
Original.
This original, yeah. Now I've seen banjos with that same style of you know, full-size banjos with a similar style of inlay. Very cool, though.
What I'm doing right now is just totally cosmetic, and it just looks a little intrusive to see that glue on the fingerboard right next to these frets where they've been glued back in, because they probably popped up at some point. This is probably done sometime in the 80s or 90s when super glue became the man hanging from a helmet and super glued his helmet to a crane or something. There we go. There we go. Got it. There's one more little tiny piece. Got it. Okay. And just, this is all cosmetic, and any of the light spots that I've revealed from trying to remove this are all going to blend when I put the linseed oil on it. I will be treating it with linseed oil. It's my favorite type of.
Well, it's definitely traditional.
Yeah. You want a piece of furniture to look nice? Piece of wood furniture, a wooden table. Put some linseed oil on it. I'm just kind of going over any spot that looks a little suspicious, as if it has glue or something on it. We want to get all that off of here. And I'm not removing any wood. If I am, it's less than a micron.
Yeah, get all that fingerboard fudge off there.
Yeah.
That looks way better already, more consistent. I bet once you get the oil on it, it'll pop.
Yeah. I'm going to let it sit just for a few minutes and make sure it's dried out.
Wise young man.
What's that?
Let's get in there.
I'm gonna work right through it. I'll probably call. You can go do whatever you got to do. Okay. I'm not gonna get this thing done if I go eat. I might order something from next door.
This is interesting. They dyed that. See, because it's looks like it was rosewood, and they dyed
it black.
Yeah, dyed it black.
Well, and also this neck has been cracked before, so it was lacquered after it was broken. So we can look at this real quick. And again, you can kind of see on the stream, you can kind of see it's lightening up right here. So these portions, this wood is so dry that just that little bit of simple green I used on this just soaked right into it. You can kind of see. So I'm going to let it dry for a little bit. And we're getting close to being able to put strings on it, but I'll give you a look at here. You can see that the neck was cracked at one point in its life. They did a really great repair. It was a clean break. which is great. And, you know, I could feel it, but it appears that it was shot with lacquer after the crack happened. I mean, I can't be 100% certain, but it looks a little too modern to be like old.
Yeah, it looks
old.
a little spry right there.
Yeah.
It should be more of a creepy looking old suddy look.
They might have just gone and, you know, with it and melted the new stuff into the old stuff.
But this original finish here is it's a totally different look, you know.
Yeah. I'm also looking over this whole thing for little things I can clean up, maybe. Let's see, there's.
And then we're notorious for getting little hairline cracks in that outside laminate.
You know what that looks like? What do you think that is?
Well, something's sticking out.
Yeah, I can scrape it off of there.
Yeah, somebody got some boogers on there off of something.
Hide glue.
Yeah, they were gluing this, trying to glue this, and they stopped it, and then they were trying to stick, because there was a crack here too in the veneer, and they're trying to stick it all back down. They didn't really do a heinous job, but
I'm not going to use a razor blade to try and remove this hide glue. I am going to try and get rid of this mark though, and fingernail is a pretty good tool.
They are
to use to get stuff like this off of something without damaging the finish. But
I'm really digging that. That's a cool looking instrument. Yeah, it's been touched a few times, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, I'm gonna give up on that. That's not a big intrusive ugly thing, and nobody's gonna care really, I don't think.
Well, I kind of like the old patina on the old finish on that.
Yeah,
on that rim. So.
What I was looking at is this little spot right here. You can see it. I think they got some hide glue on it when they glued this back together again, because hide glue usually dries kind of a reddish color depending on what brand it is. In some cases. And now I've already done the work on tilting the neck back, so I'm going to find out how well I did, but I'm pretty sure that I got it tilted back, hopefully too far, because now if I did, I can adjust that by moving the shim, and the basically the truss rod. What?
Oh, the dowel rod?
Dowel, yeah.
We call it a dowel rod, even though it's square most of the time on this vintage Banjolin.
Dowel rod. We don't work on these enough. I've definitely worked on a few, but let's see.
Well, that's what my dad and uncle called them, so I'll just stick with that.
Yeah, good. Okay, so my phone finally charged up all the way. That's cool. All right, so let's go ahead and put a little bit of linseed oil on here and see how this thing comes back to life. We'll give you a good view of what happens here. And while I'm at it, where's my new bridge?
It's right here.
There we go. While I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and wipe some linseed oil on this just to kind of help protect that. Conservative with paper towels. Oh, and I forgot. I'm going to take a moment here to send the owner of this little thing a link to the YouTube video, so if she cares to watch her instrument come back to life. I should have done that before. In fact, I'm going to send that text to her right now so she can see if she cares to. Let's see. I got a couple texts. Okay, I can't answer that. Okay. Oh, I got to find the link. You guys give me a moment here. I got to find the link to my video that I'm doing right now. There it is. There it is. Yeah, you're watching myself make a phone call. Pretty neat. Come on. Watching myself make a phone call. Pretty neat. I'm watching myself make a phone call. Here we go. Oh, feedback. close that. All right. Oop. Let me paste. Come on. All right. So, I kind of wish I had sent her, but look at how beautiful this wood dark it looks now. Pretty cool. Okay. And then, and with linseed oil, you just wipe it on and wipe it off. You don't let it sit and harden. Just a tiny little bit is enough. And, okay, I'm kind of amazing myself because, oh, there it is. I couldn't see it. Here we go. I'm just going to use a little bit of this on the new bridge, just to kind of help protect it. You see, it's just such a tiny little amount. It's barely even changing the color of the wood, but it's enough that it'll help protect this thing for a good while. And again, I've written B and T on there so that I know what end goes where. All right, we don't want to put it on backwards because I'm going to match the saddle that came off of it, because the string action was awesome and the string spacing was awesome. Lloyd Lorer would have likely done it very much the same way. And when this mandolin was built, Lloyd Lorer was building mandolins. This is probably, we're estimating 1920-ish. But we don't know. There's no date on it. $500 an hour. I wonder how many vegetarians, vegans are playing instruments built with height. Yeah. Jampro, that is a great statement. Forgive me, you guys, if I'm not checking in on the. I want to stay as busy as I can on this thing because I want to get this done today. Okay. BT, boom. Okay, so here we go. Now, grab this off of here real quick. I'm looking at something on this saddle, but here we go. So I am. Well, before I do that, I'm going to grab a drumstick. Give me a moment. We're going to check the tuning. Now, sometimes we're able to tell just want to check these real quick. I'm assuming that they are a standard size. There I go, assuming something. We all know what happens, and I'm missing some of my wrenches, obviously, because they might be. These are not metric. What size is this? What size are you? Okay, so I grabbed the wrong wrenches. Here we go. Nope. I gotta find the right size. Nope, that's too big. That's too small. That's too small. This has got to be the right one. I don't have there. I think I found the right one. Oh yeah. Okay. So again. So these are 1/4 inch. I've got to find my 1/4 inch. I've got to find my 1/4 inch nut driver on here, and 5.5 3/8. It's definitely not 3/8. 1/4. No, it's not a 1/4. Boy, this might be an odd size nut. So 5/16 is it? It's not a 1/4. I'm sure that. Boy, I'm missing. 1/4 doesn't fit it. 5/16 is too big. What we got here? 3/8 is too big. 5.5 millimeters is too big. 8 millimeter. It's like a 7 mil, which would be 11/32. Nope. Well, I don't have a nut runner, but I was hoping I had the right size. Sure to be missing a couple of those, but we've got something here that'll fit it. Now, I'm only assuming that it is a standard measurement, but this could have been built overseas. Let's see, 9/32 might be the right one. Is it 9/32? It sure is 9/32. Okay, so I've got a socket here that fits. So again, what I'm looking for are any of the. I want to find the highest pitched place on the head, and then I want to bring all of them up because I can only assume that some of them have been loosened over time, not tightened. And you always want to find kind of a dissonant pitch, but with this head having sat for as long as it has without being played, it's got probably been in the sun. I can hear the pitch. This one right here seems to be the highest pitch, at least thus far. Now, sometimes I can tell with this particular instrument, sometimes using a torque wrench can be a surefire way to get the tension even across. I can tell this one's a lot tighter. And I think the reason for this is the wow. Yeah, there we go. Evening up these two here. It seems like the pitch here is a little bit higher. I know. My camera guy who was sleeping on the job, forgive me for being so boring with this stuff. It'd be great to have an assistant, but can't afford that. And again, I'm checking the tension on these more so by feel than by using a torque wrench. And we'll check the tuning of the head. Kind of got a nice pitch, I believe, that I like. And you might be wondering, well, how do you know that the tension is the same? Believe me, when you've plumbed as many houses as I have, and you've had to tighten something exactly the same all the way around, you can feel it. So I'm using my sense of feel and the skills that I've acquired from years of working as a plumber. And let's see. I can hear the now I'm listening for pitch. And I got to be careful because we're right on the edge of, you know, we don't want to be too tight. Now also this area of the instrument, there's a large gap here. So that's going to be a little bit flat. Okay. And I'm going to call that good. It's a dissonant note, which we want. We don't want a perfect pitch, something perfectly in tune. Okay, here we go. All right. We've got an oil on her. We touched up the fingerboard and cleaned it up. Okay. Let us put these wrenches away. I know my camera guy is not keeping up with me today very well. But I'm putting my wrenches away. Give me a moment here to tidy up a little bit. Yeah, I'm definitely missing a couple of doggone it. I'm missing a few wrenches here. Probably fell in my garbage can right underneath where I keep all my wrenches. Okay, let's start stringing her up. And let's see, we've got all unison strings. So we're using a set of 10. What are they? 10 to we're using D'Addarios. The owner of the instrument brought these in with her. Light loop ends, phosphor bronze, 10 to 38. Now I would actually prefer to use 9s just to kind of keep the neck tension as low as possible on an old instrument like this, but I think that's more my brain telling me that that's safer than actual fact. Although the tension between a 9 and a 10 is quite remarkable, the difference in tension. And you'll notice how this bridge goes together, which is kind of cool. I'm just going to try and get one of these strings in, and then I'll worry about the slots on the saddle once I see where my string action is at. In fact, let's just do one. I'm finding out that that is not the easiest task. So look at this. All right. There we go. Now, just running this string up here. We have the low strings go through there, and the next, and the next, and the next. All right. And I'm going to do two. I'm going to try and do 2 wraps. Yeah, I can get 2 wraps on these and through. And I'll move the camera up here so you can see how I do that. But I just want to get a string on here and see where we're at. Now, the other thing that I know is that with this bridge, I also have it tilted backwards that direction, which is how you want them on these. Now, I know the action is going to be really high right now, and I'm fine with that because I got to take some height off of the bridge. Yep. Okay. You can see that the string action is just outrageously high right now, which I'm fine with that. All right. So now on these, with this, I like to go back and forth to try and get the string tension so I can get this bridge sitting proper so that it sits in the same spot. As you put strings on here, they will very quickly start pulling the bridge to one side or the other. And see how. Now, also, I want to add to this, I have seen bridges like this, but welcome to the first for me. This is the first instrument I've ever put strings on with this type of bridge. So, you know, I don't care what anybody says. You can work on thousands of instruments, and you ain't never seen one like this, right? I talk like a hick. There we go. Hicks are cool. Right? I ain't never seen. Hey, Chavez, you see the size of that chicken? All right. Now, here's something about these. I mean, the way that this string did what it did, it went down and like to it in place that's impossible for the string to go, but it went there down into, oops, it went down into the hole that it's impossible for it to get into. If I wanted it to do that, it never would have happened.
Those little shafts are hard to wrap sometimes.
Boy, especially with these tiny little strings.
And my memory's a little slow anymore, Marshall.
Yeah.
This is Hollywood. It's
What
Holly.
is it? Holly?
Holly, yeah.
Wow.
Looking for a part for a car. It dawned on me it was Holly.
Okay. Now I'm noticing here in the bridge, I'm going to have to take my nut files and make these slots the proper size. So we will do that. All right. Need a 38, which, okay. So now I know that I'm going to have to take these slots down a bit. Because the string action is way too high right now. But with that, okay.
These are hook over the edge like a bracket.
Okay. So I need to readjust the tailpiece on this real quick until my journeyman just pointed out that I had not done this exactly right. So there it went. There we go. Oh, one side. There we go. I will show you what we just ran into. There's a couple of hooks on the back side of this that actually go over the top edge of that. Probably would have figured that out after I had it all strung up and tuned. Wait a minute. Okay, now this low string is doing the exact same thing that the high string did, where they go down to the bottom of the machine head so you can't hardly grab them. If you wanted them to do this, there's no way in hell they would. It would be impossible for them to get there. Physically, they can't get there, but they literally can't get there, but they do. And also, I want to show you something that I need to do here at my bench. I know a lot of guys do this. I just haven't done it yet. I need to build a different neck holder out of a piece of 2x4. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn this with my fingers, but I have a cork neck holder that I'm going to start using here in just a moment because it'll make this process a whole lot easier to do. Okay. Now also, I'm not cutting the strings off. I'm just shortening them because these big long strings, they will stick you in the eye. No doubt. Sparky, what's happening? Manny Bye, I'm about to go to the Banjolin rabbit hole. Yeah. No, not really. Forgive me, you guys. I know that I've been asked a few questions here, but loosening strings, no, not really. You can move this, at least at this point, pretty easily. And I'm already getting an idea of string action, and I can tell that I've got to cut these slots a lot deeper. So get that in there. This is an ingenious way to do this. with respect to this tailpiece working. That is really cool.
I'm gonna go check on her just to make. I know she's been up all night, but I'm just gonna make sure she's.
No, that's a good idea.
All
All right. And we'll go back down to this end. And I do on the unwound strings 3 wraps. 1, oops, 2. There. Now that string went down to the very bottom. You see, it'll go down to the very bottom of this shaft so that you can't get it. You can't get a hold of it. Oh my goodness! And once they start slipping like they did right now, it just made this job a whole lot more difficult. All right, here we go. Okay, now I didn't get 3 full wraps, so I'm going to leave a little bit of slack on there. See how that string wants to go all the way down to the bottom of that, and how they try to cross over each other even though they can't. There we go. But they will, because it's just like electrical wires. They go everywhere you don't want them to go. We don't want strings crossing over on these windings. You don't want the windings crossing over the top of each other, which I think on this one, I did manage to avoid it. No, I didn't. I'm going to unwind this string and start over again. Again, I couldn't have done that in a million years if I wanted to do it, but because I don't want it to do it, can you hand me that cork neck stand?
Yes, I'd love to.
Okay. All right. Now I can use my string winder a little more effectively. See how that string goes right down to the bottom of that? You can't get a hold of it.
Yep, crawls right down.
Yeah, and you can see the string somehow miraculously wrapped over the top of itself. And I mean, that should be impossible, but it sure did it. I'm just unwinding it until I get it down to where all the windings are going downhill. Yeah, right down the last wire, it did it. Okay. There we go. All right. I feel like I'm doing this with 2 left hands right now, but okay. I'm just making sure that all the windings are going nice in a straight line and not overlapping. It looks nice and neat. There we go. I'm getting there. And I haven't let you all look at the back of the headstock, but this does have the original machine heads on it. There it goes. It's almost making music again. Okay, now with these each one of these strings that I get on here, what I'm going to do, I've just kind of made a decision. What I'm going to do is I get the string on here, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my nut file and make these slots a little bit deeper. All right. These are 10 gauge strings, so I'm using a 10 gauge nut file. Notice that. Oh, that's a nice noise. Very harmonic wood. By the way, this is ebony in this saddle. All right, now we'll adjust the string action soon enough. I can take a little bit off the bottom of this and a little bit off the top. I'll do some measurements, and we'll make sure that that's all going to be good. All right. Now, also, I got to kind of pay attention here to how I wrap these at that point so that I've got them kind of going in order, outside, inside, and so on. Strings out of the way. And then on these lower strings, I'm going to need to cut that one off. I'll pick it up later, but I just want to get this out of my way. 2 wraps. This is why, what you just saw is why I cannot stand these guitar stands. I don't think anybody should use them. You waste a lot of time picking them up and standing them back up and everything. You should do it out of a piece of 2x4 and like a little piece of leather. Be a little better. I need to make one of those. Okay. Let's see. Nope, you got to turn the right machine head. Okay. Everything's looking pretty darn good at this point. Now the other thing is that when I get done with this, I may need to do a little adjustment to the string spacing down here. We'll just kind of see how it turns out. Ultimately, I'm going to pull that one out. There we go. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go with the smaller. Start on the smaller side. Now, what are we at? 10, 14. Yeah. Pretty cool. Cool instrument. And I would love to know if any of you, if anybody's still watching. I know this is long and drawn out and pretty boring ultimately. But I wonder if any of you have actually seen one of these in real life. Oh, come on. There we go. I tried to put both of them in here at the same time, but nope. So we'll just do one at a time. These out. I tried. I just had to try it again just to see. Doesn't play nice. And also, my fingernails are usually a little bit longer than this, but I got pretty aggressive with my fingernail clippers because I've had a few gigs in the last week, and I wanted to, number one, look nice, but number two, not have them be in the way. So I trimmed them a little bit shorter than I usually would. And of course, that one wants to walk down and wrap. And this one did the same exact thing, and it's impossible for that string to do it, but it did. It overlapped the first winding on this. Yeah, it's astonishing how this can happen. Usually this goes a lot easier, but these machine heads don't have any taper to them. And I mean, it's before they started doing that with guitars and instruments like this, because they knew that it helped putting strings on to keep them from doing exactly what this one's doing, which is overlapping and potentially causing a broken string. Now I am gonna do this. Let's pull on this just a little bit. There we go. Using these tools on this thing, it's just being really super careful to not touch any of the wood or anything, put any extra scratches or dings in it. Be ultra careful. And I know I asked a question just a little bit ago about if anybody had seen a Bruno Banjolin or Manjo, whatever you want to call it. I'm really curious. This is a really rare sight, and it's really cool they get to work on one. And the young lady who owns this hasn't spent much time playing mandolin. In fact, she's going to learn. So cheers to her for doing that. Okay. Okay, and I'm not really trying to tune it at all right now, just bringing them up to a reasonable pitch so that I've got good string tension on it. I have no idea. Have y'all ever seen Marshall? I'm a bluegrasser from childhood. I've seen a few of those. Okay. Grandsons. Okay. I've done those bridges before. Oh yeah. You've worked on a violin. You've done these many times. Oh no, Camellia. Oh no. I hate hearing that. That's a bummer. That is really a bummer. 24. All right. I'll put one of these 24s on here. We're almost done stringing this up. And this is really taking me a lot longer than it normally does. But I'm trying to be extremely careful. You know, on a normal or a modern mandolin, the effort required to put strings on it isn't quite the same. A little bit easier usually. Just the engineering is obviously more modern on them. Right. Oh, I forgot to cut that one off. Now, you know, I don't cut the strings off until the very last thing I do, but these extra, on mandolins, there's so much extra string. I'm not afraid to cut off a little bit just to get it out of the way. 2 wraps on the wound strings, just like I always do. And go over the top of the wraps. Don't go through. You're wasting your time, your effort, and if you play a gig and you break a string, you will take you string off of there. There's a lot of ways to put strings on, but I don't know if there's a more efficient and a better way to put them on than this anyway. Okay, now I just discovered that I've got to cut this slot just a little bit deeper. Just so that string will stay put, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. All right. Let's nip this one off. We're almost got strings on it, and I can tell you that the string action is really high at this point, so we'll fix that. I haven't decided yet if I want to. Okay, here is okay. So I'm seeing. Okay, so this is going to be. These inner two. Okay. So in order to do this right, that's an interesting. Okay. To keep these inside and outside, I just put the outside string on. So I guess I could just here. I'll do this rather than make that more difficult. We'll just go through the inside here. See what I'm saying?
I do.
Now, I'm probably being absolutely, completely retentive by doing this, but to me, it makes sense to not cross these strings up in the bridge for durability and the lifespan of the strings. If they're crossing up right here, the potential spot for a string to break, right? I think I'm right.
I think you're doing somebody else a favor by doing it that way.
Oh, and you know, I got to let go of that string. This is interesting. When I pulled the old strings off of here, there's still a piece of string in this, and I have no idea how it's held in there. I don't know if you guys can see this, but
little miniature old school string.
Yeah, I wonder. I doubt this is one of the original strings that came on this instrument, but okay, I gotta try and get this thing off of here because again, it's something for one of the other strings to hang up on and potentially cut a string, but it almost feels like there's a knot in this thing. So I wonder if somebody tied this on here to repair a string at some point. Oof. Okay. Wow. It is totally twisted together on the inside of there. It's like the two ends. So to get this off of here, I'm going to have to cut it.
Really not a fun thing.
And I don't want to mark up the machine head.
Right, exactly.
So see if I can, rather than cut it, maybe I can break it. Boy.
Now you can see why it's still in there, because somebody probably been there since the 40s.
I just don't want to leave this. Try my razor blade again. See if I can cut my finger.
Yeah, please no.
So I can get my razor blade. That thing is tied so tight that my razor blade barely fits. Okay, so I can get my razor blade in there. I'm going to go the opposite direction with it. I got to get this string off of here. I just can't stand leaving it on here.
Well,
there we go.
We'll have to write a new song called Blood on the Band.
Right. Okay. There, I got it. I got it.
Yay.
Wow, that was interesting. First time for everything. A lot of firsts on this one. Okay, I don't know where that piece went, but it's not in the instrument anymore. I almost said guitar. Freudian slip. Now I want to try and see if I can do this one without having the string wrap over itself. Again, I only got 2 wraps on that one, so I'm going to pull it tight. Pull some back through. There we go. All right. See how it's winding downhill really fast? If you wanted it to do that, it wouldn't. It would just stay nice and tight like you want it. Now, when I'm tightening this up, I'm keeping a lot of tension on this string. These straight machine heads, man, you want as much friction as you can for tuning stability because they don't have that slant like a modern machine head does. All right. Let me cut this one off a little bit here. But this is taking a lot longer than I expected. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to go on the inside here. So. Okay. I'll be as gentle as I can going through here. That's a lot of metal on metal. Metal on metal. Who was that? What band was that? Robbie, you gotta know who that band was. Metal on metal. There was a movie about them. What were they called? The Canadian band. What were they? Not Spinal Tap. I can't remember. 2 wraps. Boy, if I wanted it to do that, it wouldn't. I know you can't see what I'm doing down here. These straight machine heads are tough. All right, so anvil. There it goes. I was a little, just when I was pulling that string through there, just to be honest, scraping that metal across this piece here, I was just really trying to be careful so that I don't weaken the string in some way. Okay. The string alignment looks really good straight down the neck, although I would love for this bridge to come this way, but I think once I get it tuned up, I'll be able to do that when I get string tension proper. But you'll notice also that the bridge is tilted backwards, which is perfect. Kind of want it that way, and you've got a nice bit of fall away behind that, which it was not like that to begin with. All right, so checking our first fret action. It's a little bit high, so we're going to have to do a little bit of work on this, but that's the last thing I do. I want to measure real quick to see where our string action is at. We're going to measure it. I'm just going to measure it at the 12th fret, like a normal, good old-fashioned guitar. And where it is. So that's our 12th fret, and we are this thing has a good bit of fall away here. That's nice. We're at we'll call it 6/64ths, and we want to be down around 3/64ths. So I got to remove 6/64ths of material off of the bridge. Yeah, you see, maybe you can see both. So let's let me just measure real quick. How much bridge do I have? I easily have enough bridge material to cut those slots down to get the string action down, at least to 3/64, and we're about the same on this side. So I think overall, oh yeah. So, I mean, I didn't cut all these slots exactly the same depth, but I know that I'll be able to cut into this now and get the string action down. So having said that, let's pull that off. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this right on the instrument. I know. I know. You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Now, I am going to do something a little I think I'm going to do something here a little unorthodox, because I'm going to have to get these down so deep. I'm going to go ahead and pull this saddle off of here and remove a bunch of material off of the top of it before I get too much further. And remember, I'm not going to like totally ruin the setup on this thing much, although I am loosening string tension here. I have to take so much material off of this thing that it doesn't make sense to cut into it that far. So should be able to pull this bridge out of here and the strings stay put. Now what I am going to do is cut these. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, 24. And where am I? I had a, there it is. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. If anyone enters, listen to John Hartford's song called The Cross-Eyed Child. Pretty cool story about Bill. Nice. Anvil, I knew you knew it. Canadian band. Okay. I'm going to take a moment to order some lunch because I have to eat something today. I'm going to order a turkey sandwich. Where are you? There it is. Oh, you guys. And normally I'd be eating lunch right now, but, well, I would have eaten it too. But I want to get this thing done for her today. Hi, good afternoon. I would like to order a turkey sandwich to go. Waffle fries, please. No, Don't need anything. I'm easy. All right. This is Marshall. (541-786-9248). Now you have my phone number. I was talking to somebody else. 9248. I work at Grande Stereo. I'm right next door. So, no big deal. All right. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. All right, bye. Okay. So, now that I've got that kind of started, I'm gonna have to do this somewhat in phases here because I got to take a little bit off and then oh, here we go. Got a nice piece of. Oh, hello. Hey, I'm working on an instrument here.
Oh, do your thing. Don't mind me.
All right, man.
I'm just looking for some speakers.
Did you talk with Stu or somebody up front already?
Yeah, I spoke to a gentleman up front. He's looking up some speakers for me.
Excellent. All right.
Well, what do you think?
I think we should go look at your truck.
Okay.
We'll listen to it.
I just don't want to go too far and lose my notches, right? Okay. You can only file so deep with these things, and then you, oops, I'm sorry, you couldn't see what I'm doing. My camera guy, he drinks a lot. Forgive me for that, guys. What I did was I removed some of the material off the top of this. You can't file very deep with these. They're just made for just small depths. And also, I'm thinking about where the measurement that I was looking for. I needed to remove 6/64 was. I'm gonna put this back on there and double check it, make sure I haven't gone too far. Right? I'm probably gonna end up doing this about, I don't know, 3 or 4 times until I get it deep enough that I can leave the saddle on the guitar and finish up my work. Now, we are looking for really low string action, and I may have to lower some of the action at the first fret. So know that that part is coming. And I'm using the proper nut files. I should call them slot files. Somebody's trying to call me. Hey, man.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Not much, dude. I'm in the middle of working on this instrument, man. I can't talk.
Yeah, of course you are. You bastard.
Yeah. Any news?
Okay, well, yeah, I was just talking to my mom and dad, and that, just gonna, my dad's gonna fucking send me a month's worth of rent.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
About fucking cried, dude.
Oh, what a guy. Dude, that'll help a lot.
Yeah, Mom and Dad, they're in Daytona right now. They're gonna head back to the house here soon, but
yeah.
He says, we'll figure it out. He says, we'll send you the money. He says, how far are you behind? Like a month. He says, I'll send you the money and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, how kind of him, dude.
Yeah.
Boy, I hope one day my dad will help me out like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really needed it like you know, and run into that situation. So, but dude, That makes that is really great news, man.
Yeah, he says that'll take some weight off of you, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't even know. He's like, yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's pretty great. Well, call me back when you get done or whatever.
Yeah, I'll call you when I'm done here at work. Okay, brother?
Sounds good, man.
All right.
All right. Talk to you soon.
See you soon, bub.
Right,
bye. Wow, good news. Good news. With the economy the way it is right now, a good man and a lot of good men trying to make a living, sometimes that doesn't work out. And you can be a very skilled worker, a skilled labor force, and not be able to be afforded. I think in today's world, some of that's happening. I know my the average age group of my people that are watching are generally retired. You know, so maybe it's been a while since you've had to worry about how to pay rent, but for those of us that are still working, sometimes, boy, that gets stressful. Doesn't matter how hard you work. Okay, I've sanded this thing down. You've seen me do this a few times, so let's check where our string height is now. I think let me make sure. Treble bass. All right. I did loosen the string tension a little bit, so it should all stay put. There we go. And get these. The one on the outside wants to go to the inside, and the one on the inside doesn't want to go where it's supposed to go. Okay. Now I know I am nowhere near. I know I'm nowhere near close enough, but let's see how much I've lowered the string action at this point, just so you kind of see a little bit of what I've done. Now I'm at 4/64ths, so just a couple of 64ths. So I'm going to pull this back out of here. I did tighten up this string tension. I'm going to remove a little bit off the bottom of this in a level manner. I've got a very level surface here. Now, I would think about doing this on a belt sander, but these are really fragile. So you could break one of these using a belt sander to do this. And also, this is tilted a little bit too far back. So I'm trying to lean it a little bit into the tilt to kind of straighten it up just a little. Trying to keep even force across the whole base so that I'm taking off the same amount of material across the whole, all 3 feet. See, I've got my pointer finger here, got my middle fingers grabbing the middle, and I'm pushing down with my middle finger on the back one. It's amazing what a human hand can do. You be strategic about it. And you might notice that I'm flipping it back and forth. I explained that a little bit earlier, that I do that so that I don't take more off of one end than I do the other. That way I've got equal pressure regardless of what end is facing what. I'm using the same amount. And I could tell that on when I've got it like this, I can't push as hard with my ring finger. So I'm kind of trying to lighten up the amount that I'm pushing on the down with my pointer finger. It's much stronger, of course. It's just flipping it back and forth. Now, I'm going to leave a pretty good amount of feet on here. I know I've definitely thinned them out a little bit. So, now I'm going to take some 220 here. And take a little piece of 220. That was 100 grit. It takes off a lot of material in a really quick amount of time. Here we go. You take a little bit of 220. Don't cut sandpaper with your wife's scissors or your mom's scissors. And get the tar bead out of you. That's how you do it. Other parents can't spank their children anymore, which is fine. Just knocking the 100 grit slices off of the bottom of that. Now you can see I've got a nice even let's see where we're at now. Boy, I did exactly what I was hoping to do when I did that. Exactly what I was hoping to do.
Speaker, but they're also going to get the labor, and we kind of work that in. Well, I do have some red box.
The Rockford 6x9.
Right, yeah. These are the Prime Series. These are money, but these are like great. That's the real thing on the bottom there.
Okay.
And then also I do have, just to let you know, Memphis Audios, but they're a little bit more money yet.
What are we talking? I haven't pressed out 6x9s in 20 years. So what are we talking about?
Oh, installed about 120 for the black box ones. The one about 140 installed. These are 250, 219 installed.
Yeah, gee, I like the bad boys.
Yeah, let's pull those out.
All right. And you were looking at these for tweeters up in the front?
No, I would not do those. What I would do in the front there is these, but I probably these are going to be a better fit. I have to pull the pillars apart. These will fit in there better. These are Rockford Prize, but they're
that's what these are, right? Yeah. I'd rather go with all the same brand.
Well, these are all the same brand. The red box, I do the red box for the doors.
Okay.
Do these for the pillars if you want these replaced.
Oh, these go in the doors?
No, don't even look at that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Okay.
But if you want, if you want to do the tweets, I would do this. The coaxial red box. They're coaxial. They got the tweets
inside of the
inside of the 6.9.
That might be a good way to go.
That's where I'd start, and then we'll go from there.
Let's plan on that. Can you put these in? I want the best ones you got.
And that's what I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you do some honors here. You wanna?
Yeah.
Grab those out.
Can I look at them real quick?
Yeah, pull them out of there. Look at them. And they're two ways, so they're going to be tighter and lighter than.
I've always had good luck with
I have to. I'll get you the best price I can on those. I'll get you exactly what the book says on them. I do. I'm not rock dealer, but let's put them over here. Just pop them right up there.
We used to specialize in boats.
And these will just fit those doors.
Good deal.
What
are you talking like 150 for these or 140?
Look them up real quick. You got a tape measure on you? Or something, just a tape measure or a yardstick.
Why are the magnets? Shouldn't the magnets be larger on these?
Oh gosh, why would you? That's crazy.
Really?
Maybe half the size of that would be good.
Huh.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. No, big magnets are not good. That's a way of the dinosaur thing.
I told you it's been a long time.
These are huge. Very huge. The only one that would have bigger things would be the Memphis. And I think they're just the same size as this. Yeah, if you do something like this, look at the size of these high-grade new modern magnets. Look how small those magnets are.
Oh yeah.
That's where everything's going in.
Is this a better speaker? It has dual tweeters instead of like a single.
Right, but it's not no tweeters. It's a mid driver and a little microscopic tweeter and a woofer. It's not going to be. You want something you can bang 24/7, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you need to get your price to sit up for a bigger size, then you do that to I'm one of those guys.
Did it right the first time?
Yes. Because we don't want to have to shoehorn them in there, right? Let me look at my secret sign here and we'll get you a price.
All right, I'll let you work on that. I'm going to take another look around.
Yep, just look around there and talk to the boss.
Squared away?
Yeah.
Don't talk to him. Let me on that computer there for a second.
I know there's a lot of sanding and a lot of putting it on, taking it back off, but if you wonder why you take your instrument into a guitar tech and they do a good job for you, why it might cost a little bit, this is a big reason why. Because, sometimes we have to do things extra special for your instrument that we may not have to do on others.
And I'll get the captors coming
So,
second they get here.
not that this is going to be like super expensive, but now the other thing I want you to be aware of, I just broke this little center notch out of there between the two strings, and also you'll notice that I got the strings crossed up. Now, if I had tried to cross those strings up, I couldn't have done that in a billion years. There's no way I could have done that. It would not have crossed up like it did. All right, so now we're getting at least we're getting sort of acceptable with regard to the string height. And I can tell that, interesting, I got a little bit of material to remove off the back side of this. You know what? No, I did not. Okay. Let's take another measurement. Yeah, now we're down around 3/64 on both sides. Now, typically you don't measure string action on a mandolin in 64, so I'm just doing this to know where I'm at. Robbie, stick and yeah. Bill guitar, I always have at least 8 pre-assemblies. Oh yeah, takes a while to do this stuff. Now, you guys, I'm gonna have to step away for a moment because I gotta go grab my lunch. Hang in there. I'll be right back. You can look at this beautiful instrument that I don't know how many people. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna move my camera up a little bit so you can all see this. I gotta go eat something, you guys. I can't be too careful because I gotta eat. I have that whole type 1 diabetes thing. And let's see, just so you know that I'm taking care of myself, My blood glucose right now is 80, which is a little bit low, but I'm still functioning good. So it's a perfect time to go eat lunch. I'll be right back. I got to walk just next door and grab a turkey sandwich, which is awesome. We'll eat together. Give me a moment.
I'll call you tomorrow. It looks like they're going to be here.
If you can't get me on the phone, I work for UPS, so you can text me.
All right, so maybe I'll text you anyway. I'll touch bases with you, and I can read that clearly as speak.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Betty. Was that right? What was home now? Of course it did. Good. It was 160. I was gonna write a ticket. I was just gonna make sure I didn't. All right. Yeah, I usually try to do that. So lately I've been getting in a hurry, trying to make sure I don't drop the ball on this end. Yeah. That I'm not writing shit down. That's all right. Me, that guy's like, never been in here before. He's from Allen County, working on the Grande plant, driving for UPS. He used to work for his family that sold Rockford and some other stuff that ended up music stores, ones like he did. And so he kind of knew what he was talking about. He wasn't a complete blackhead. Yeah. And he's like, man, don't you hear that? And I'm like, this is Intel's front speakers out of those cars. I'm gonna put some punch 6x9s in there. He said, yeah, it's a good start. So that's where we start. I'm sure yet. I'm hoping to have to get that replaced. I might have to set out the shop. So I'm gonna go take my pedal real quick and grab the adapter place. So how you doing, Mike? Good. All right, good. I think he probably went to lunch. He was going to finish that. I don't know if he did or not.
Well, no, that's fine.
I'm just curious. Oh, I better get that. That screen, yeah. Right, and I was just trying to find time I can get it in the alley and get it installed for you, buddy. That's why I was going to call you back. And so I have all on top of it here, but yeah, I just don't, I can't do it this weekend, so I'm trying to get you on the calendar here. Yeah, I got a list of guys to call in here. The first one on the list. All right, there you go. This reminds me, I'll take a look right at that, okay? Yeah, usually one of those guys, if I say like that, I do. It just takes me sometimes a little bit. Okay, I cannot do it until Thursday next week. Okay, well, if not, I do something for you. All right, how about we ready to go? Yeah. Thank you. I'll see you Friday 20th at noon. We'll get that in there for you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Oh, you ate some food. Good man.
Yes, I was hungry. All right. I'm sorry to abandon you guys for so terribly long. Been on for about 2 hours now, it looks like. But I had to eat something, you guys. It's important. I usually eat pretty healthy, and this is about the healthiest thing as I can order. But the restaurant Cock and Bull, they make pretty healthy stuff. Aside from pasta, which is really loaded with carb, and it's hard for humans to eat that kind of much carb intake. Right? I count carbs. Count my carbs. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna eat something now. Oh my goodness, look at all these carbs. Waffle fries, bomb. Okay. People texting me. So I'm gonna have to take some insulin, which my new insulin pump gives me my insulin shots that I had to take for 43 years of my life. That was cool. Bolus, let me see. How much carb am I going to eat? I'm going to say I'm going to eat 110 grams of carb because this is has French fries in it and some bread. So I'm giving myself 7.19 units of insulin. Isn't that cool? And I stopped at our pop machine that we have here at the store, and I think somebody else put $1 in it because I put $1 in it, gave me 50 cents back, and gave me my Diet Pepsi. So it cost me 50 cents to get a pop. I don't know. Oh. They give you a cranberry sauce over there. I don't know why I don't like cranberry sauce. I just haven't ever really liked it. From a really young age. I'm going to catch up. Let me see. Kristen. Oh. One of my old guitar students. So I'm excited. I might get to go out to lunch with him tomorrow. I'm not sure if that's going to work. But maybe if he can find some time, he and his nephew, who is now taking lessons from me, may come to see me play tomorrow and get to actually watch me play guitar in the real live environment. I lead by example, and that I think if you're a teacher, that's one of the best ways you can is to go play live. I mean, 7 p.m. I think it's all ages. I'll have to check on that. I'll check. I'm pretty sure it's I'm pretty sure he's over 21, but his nephew, I think he's over. Yeah, he's got to be over 21 now. He was just a young kid. I think he is. I think he's old enough to buy beer. Oh, we'll see. Man, I was hungry. Oh, I typically will not eat in front of people, but today I'm gonna because I want to finish this thing. I'll get it done. It'll probably be another hour or so before she's done and tuned up and playing. I'm just guessing. Now, that is a turkey sandwich. Look at that. I ain't messing around. If I'm making you hungry, I'm not sorry. But just be sure to eat healthy. You should not to overeat, which is why a big reason why obesity epidemic in our country is happening, and people eat more than they need to at dinner time, and they just keep doing that, and it just gets more and more and more. cut back on the amount that you eat. It takes a few months before you start to not feel hungry if you didn't eat 10 times as much as you need, or twice as much as you need to. I know that because I've overeaten myself. Joe, what's happening? Yeah, okay. Cool. Joe, it's great to see you, man. You be sure to get a hold of me about guitar lessons over the internet, because I'm happy to do that. And dude, to be honest, it's pretty affordable. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys for hanging in there with me. I appreciate it. It really helps to get my content out there more. And I know I don't do a ton of really exciting stuff, and working on an instrument like this, it's time consuming. This is why guys like Dave's World of Fun stuff, I don't know, there are other guitar, it's generally probably why they don't do live streams of their repair work, because it just takes so long. It's hard to keep people interested, or to get 20,000 people to watch it, which I don't care about. And I'm happy to have you guys here, and hopefully if you've watched me do some of this work, maybe if you have a mandolin that you want to get the action down on, you might try some of the work that I've done today to do that, and a couple different methods of doing things. So I hope that maybe it'll help someone. All right, Robbie. You wrote a new song, Robbie? No way. I can't put out songs. I don't write a song one in a year, but I've written less than one a year if I was for every year I've been alive. You write that many in 41 days. By the 19th. Okay. Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely, Robbie, send it in. Joe, dude, I'm in the exact same boat. I don't know, the laptop that I'm streaming through right now, the old Lenovo. I think this thing is 10 years old. I'd have to look. It's about 10 years old, but I bought it with 8 gigs of RAM, which at that time was way enough to do recording studio stuff. Well, it decided that the RAM chip that you can plug into it, the RAM card, it's only a 4 gig RAM card, mind you. They don't even barely make it. Why would they make a 4 gig RAM card anymore? It's just pointless. But it quit working. So I bought a new RAM stick, card, whatever you want to call it, plugged it in there. Nope. So this computer is done. It still works to do live streams from here, but not real well. So I am buying a new computer also. Angle a smidgen, yeah. Sparky, I agree. And I don't know how many of you are aware, but one of the greatest songwriters in the history of mankind left us a couple days back. I put a short video up to try and ask people to honor him. Brian from the Beach Boys. I got so many friends named Brian. I want to call him Brian Harrison, Brian May, Brian Wilson left us a couple days ago. I don't know if everybody's aware of that. Yeah, Sparky. And I sent my dad a note because he, and forgive me, I'm going to eat and talk. My dad was around when the first Elvis record came out, and Buddy Holly and all of the great singers and songwriters and such. And definitely when the Beach Boys hit, my dad would have been listening to the radio the first time that song played, and you know, California Girls, or name the hundreds of other songs. This guy, I don't know how many songs they ever released, but I'm just grateful to my dad, my mom, and my family again for exposing me to that music. And Brian Wilson is arguably the greatest pop music producer in the 20th and 21st century, because nobody surpassed him yet this century. And to say it arguably, I don't know. They put out an album. I mean, over the time span, you know, it was an album every year, every couple of years. Whereas Pink Floyd, what did it take them 12 years to make Dark Side of the Moon? You know, Tool, it takes them 15 years to put out a new album, write songs. He was so creative and such a force. It's just really sad that we lost him. He was such a, and it's sad also of the problems that he had in his head. I mean, he might have thought everything was just fine, but it's really sad what the world got to see of him. It's really unfortunate. 200 songs in the Beach Boys. Yeah, there you go. Pet Sounds, one of the greatest albums of all time. I mean, it wasn't the highest selling records of all time, but if you listen to those chord progressions and the bass lines and the piano parts and the unbelievably creative harmony vocals that Brian Wilson conducted and composed and had his bandmates learn to sing, I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Listen to that record and listen to all of that stuff, and then the countless other sound effects and things. Back in 1964, maybe Pet Sounds was 1965, maybe. God only knows. Yep. Carol Kay, yeah. Carol Kay played the bass lines, but Brian wrote them on sheet music, and she played that. She could sight read, and he was the bass line writer. I'm not saying, at least that's what the way the story goes. I won't argue that she did write some bass lines for them, but the God only knows. That was Brian Wilson. One of the greatest and most complicated bass lines in history, man, of a simple pop tune. Good Lord. Kay was, Carol, one of the most recorded bass players in history. All the Motown, and think of all those songs that she played on, and just had a blast, and she's still out banging. That's great. Well, we'll hope maybe one day this little guy gets its feet wet in the bluegrass. The young lady that owns this played some bluegrass violin. I don't know how much. We didn't really have a nice long conversation about it, but you know, let's hope. Brian Wilson is a big reason why I play guitar today. I remember listening to his music when I was a kid. My dad would play it, or my stepdad, and it was like all you in the 70s. The Beach Boys were huge. I know in the 60s was when a lot of their material was recorded. James Jamerson, yeah, Motown. Yeah, Bobbitt. Yeah. A lot of ours, man. Yep, she still does lessons. You know it. My my fearless leader here, who loves Americana style music, and Bob Dylan, I guess the godfather, the grandfather of Americana music, but who loves those guys and their deep respect. All right. Okay, we're going to get back to it. Lunch and dinner, right there. I'm going to clean my hands so I don't get turkey grease all over this beautiful instrument. Okay. Anybody read my t-shirt? Oh, and I'm getting a new medical alert. This one failed. Check it out. The red paint fell out of here. So if a healthcare professional saw this, they just think it was a necklace. It doesn't have the medical alert. So I've asked them to either refund my money or send me one that they use different materials on, because the paint doesn't stick to this. Did you read it? Truth. That's truth. Okay. Now I'm going to tune this up to pitch, at least a couple of these strings.
Alrighty, I'll do our.
Tuning these up, man, it always sounds like these things are going to break. Crazy how high the pitch. I don't know who had the balls to tune up a mandolin so high, but they got bigger balls than me. No. Now I've got those strings to tension. Now we're getting into serious string action. We got our 12th fret here, 2/64, almost 3/64, and on the treble side we're at the same. So we're getting really close with this thing to getting the string action proper. So having said that, I think I'm gonna try to. I do not like these new Snark tuner. Saying that's A sharp. Saying that note's B. As I bring the tension up on these strings, the saddle is getting lower and lower, and the string action is getting more and more perfect. We're down right around 2/64. And I want to check the treble side. Let me I was measuring in the wrong fret earlier, but it got us close. Yeah, so we're still a little bit high on the treble or on the bass side. Boy, we're awful close on the treble side. Looking at my first fret action, making sure we're not going to run out of room here. But look at how low this action is now. I should use a pick. Saying that note is A sharp. That's A. I hate these new snarks are terrible. Especially with high pitches, like not a fan. Says that note's D. Now it says that's A sharp. Just really disappointed with the. I don't trust this snark as far as I can throw it. My old one that I had, I'm still really pissed off that I don't have that anymore. That really sucks. I'm going to put this, the good old PB microphone tuner down here, and I'm about ready to throw this in a place where, I don't know, they recycle human waste. It's worthless. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're way too sharp. I just moved it a pretty good distance. Now we're flat. So I'm getting close. Now I'm just doing some movements here to see if I can get it right. I'm almost certain that we're going to have to the head of this instrument has been so worn with under tension for so long that where the bridge is sitting, unfortunately, it's definitely bending in the middle. is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Ever so slightly sharp. Exactly what I thought. Now all we can do is tilt the saddle like this. It's not straight up and down, and we'll be pretty close on intonation. I probably moved that one. My chording is not real great on a mandolin.
It's always hard, yeah. They tend to be, any little variation makes them incredibly out of tune.
Okay. I'd rather just tune with a note. These tuners can't hear this well enough to.
Oh no, I understand. Sometimes you got to do it by chordal, you know.
Now, we still have a little bit of underbow on the bridge.
You're going to with that much pressure on there.
Yeah. Nines would have probably solved a little bit of that. See how it feels to you.
Oh wow, that action's low. Yeah, it's almost unbelievable.
That's where they want them, man.
Yeah, because otherwise you're fighting it the whole way, aren't you? It's not bad. This is great. I like it. Yeah, it's real chimey and nice. I like it.
You got to be accurate with the frets, though. Now, first fret action, is it? What do you think? The first fret action with respect.
Well, the problem is you know, if you start whittling away at it, I think that the A string is, you know, down really low, and so is the G. I mean, G and the D. I mean, but the A is not, you know, it's a little higher, but the little string is pretty darn high. But I would leave it because it might saw a little bit. So that's the one that's notorious for that. Nice and chimey, isn't it?
Yeah. Sounds like a Banjolin.
Yep, it looks really good. The action looks really great, Marshall.
I have room to get it lower, but
I wouldn't go any lower because it's going to start. Right now, it's really nice and shiny, and it has a good whack to it. And definitely like it. Yep, that's going to work. Yeah, there's no workaround for a banjo bridge on one of these to make it not do that.
Yeah.
That sounds really beautiful to me. It's very way easier to play. I like it. Good job. That's really, really workable there. My hands aren't working very well, but if I can get anything out of it, it must be a dream to play. I like it. And that's a little different model than the ones I looked up some pictures.
Yeah.
And most of them are not that ornate.
Yeah.
Most of them are new, a little more, and they're a lot simpler.
Yeah, I think Robbie's the guy on my stream right now said the same thing. He's like,
and they don't have a pusher down tailpiece. They usually have the little stubbier tailpiece with the little slide-on plate cover.
Yeah.
And they don't have the vine inlay, and they have a little different headstock emblem.
Yeah.
More of a vessel kind of an emblem.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what that would tell us about the actual year that this thing was made.
What's way to me is that honestly, I think people are guessing newer on these anyway, and they're wrong. I think they're old. I think they're 1920s, real early 20s.
Yeah.
Just by the look of the workmanship and the hardware.
Yeah, I agree. And
because the one I found on one of our favorite sites is a lot simpler looking than that one.
Yeah, I think that's what some of the guys on my live stream who have been so kind to participate have said the same thing.
Yeah, because the ones I'm finding are definitely not that nice.
Yeah.
Because you end up with that real bare bone look, and this is.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, it has a different headstock, more of the traditional 30s style headstock emblem, and this is odd. This is very cool, but this looks older to me.
Yeah.
And this is
this part of this headstock is starting to resemble a Gibson SG, the crown looking thing. I mean,
exactly. Very cool.
Yeah.
You know, I love the lettering, and yeah, this is definitely a cheaper model. So it has, and that's what I was looking for, were the little dots on each side. If you go, you know, to 5 and the 7C, it's not an added on,
right?
Because it would have telltale.
There'd be dots and filled, filled holes.
So this was born with fancy inlays.
Or somebody put a different neck on it. But, I mean,
new board. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Right. You know, but it sure looks. It's really in keeping with the vintage look. So I would, and these are period correct for early 20s. So.
Yeah. Yeah. The head tighteners. Head pins, whatever, pin heads. No.
And this is saying 1920s through 30s. And I think that this honestly is in the more of that 20s category, personally. Yeah. But it has that really, really basic bridge. I mean, tailpiece. See?
Also, no ferrules on the machine heads on this one either.
Yeah, I think this is more vintage, honestly.
Yeah. Different, even the name.
It's
Nah.
different. Well, it's a little
Oh,
different.
no.
Yeah, because this is a little bit. I think it has a little emblem in front of the Bruno emblem. No, it might.
That's
It
a
doesn't have
machine
that. Does it
head.
have that same tail though?
It looks like it does.
Yeah, that's because these are pretty. This is the same emblem as on my brother's, except my brother's is not Mother Pearl, but it has the dropped R.
This one also has a shorter distance between the top machine head. Either that or
Yeah,
they
something's
start
different
further
there,
back. Because this logo is way up higher than the one on this. Wish we could measure that, but
Right.
looks pretty much the same.
Oh yeah,
same
so
shape.
Basic idea is the same. Yeah.
And this says 20s or 30s, which they don't even know.
They don't even know. That's right.
I guess if you can tell me what the date of this thing is with absolute certainty and prove it,
Yeah, that's the video of it.
I'd be really grateful.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I just spent a whole bunch of time tuning this thing and intonating it and such. I got the intonation right. I'm really comfy with the string action.
Mm-hmm.
And the appearance of the instrument looks really nice. So I think I'm going to call it a day on this one. And you guys, we have like super low string action.
It's really nice.
So real easy to play, no fret buzz. And this neck also has really serious fall away from the point that it leaves the heel of the neck. So we're not worried about, I can't even fret it. Can't fret a note up there. I don't know how they.
Contortionist, the fret notes up in there.
Yeah, I don't even know what pitch I'd be at that point. But so now I'm just going to do a couple of final touches on this. So you'll notice that a couple of these strings are not wound like I like them. So I'm going to loosen some tension. And let's see. Yeah, I just got poked. Par for the course. Okay. A couple of strings that I am cutting off are ones that I'm not going to have to adjust the wrap, but this one needs a little bit of love. We want that to be nice and straight. Now you'll notice that the way these are constructed, the physics of it, unfortunately, add up to. I'll show you here. These strings are so tiny. That the second string actually hits the machine head on this thing, so unfortunately we can't ain't much we can do about that. In fact, there's nothing. Yeah. The rest of these are wound really nicely on this side, so we'll cut the strings off. This thing's about ready to go home. I'm going to give a little tug on this string to see if I can cinch up the excess wind on this. Now, yeah, and this string, oops. I'm going to loosen this one a little bit also. Push that bottom wrap up a little. this side of it. Because it's in trying to get this thing to, it's so we're so spoiled with modern guitars that I'm used to the way it looks. The strings are wound, and yeah, I could push up on it with a razor blade or something like that, but I may have to just say we'll leave that well enough alone. But I did get that wrap a little more accurate. And then this. See what I'm doing. This is going to be tricky right here. There we go. I got it. Got it. And I cut my fingernails too short. And also this string is making contact with another string. So there's nothing I can do about that. All right, now we'll tune it up and call the young lady who owns this thing and see if she wants to come in and pick it up today. A lot of work goes into one of these things, especially, I mean, and I don't make an excuse for how long it took me, but I've never worked on an instrument of one of these. I've worked on a Banjolin before, but like an Ibanez or a Washburn or something like that. This is the first time, I mean, I've been doing this a long time, I've ever seen one of these on any instrument. So that's kind of cool. And I've taken a bunch of photographs and I have the video. Okay, so this bridge is wanting to rest right there, and it's fairly straight. There's a little bit of an angle on this. Okay, now all I'm going to do right now to finish up, I should have done this a little while ago, but I'm going to go ahead and give the strings a good tug. Stretch them out as best I can. And I can tell I got a lot out of that one. I'm just stretching both strings at the same time. And I'm using my thumb and my forefinger to, or most of my fingers, to create pressure here to bend the string at every possible spot I can. And it's difficult on these. I'm going to use both hands on some of these. I don't usually do this, but you've got to, sometimes you've got to get inventive on different styles of instruments. Yeah, whatever it takes, right? Got a pretty good. One thing I can notice when tuning this, I think it's important to be careful about pushing down on this. You can't push it down real easily, but it can make you. All right. Oh boy. Okay. Well, there she is. The Bruno Banjolin. Pretty cool, huh? I think you guys have seen enough. Now all I'm doing is tuning and retuning and retuning and retuning. Y'all have turned it. Now, here's the other little detail of this. Again, the young lady that owns this thing has tuned violins. So she knows the pain in tuning and some instruments. So there it is. Intonated, string action really nice and low, like a mandolin should be. A mandolin, a banjolin, the string action was literally 3 to 4 times higher than this when this thing arrived this morning. I haven't done anything with the nut. We're going to let that ride and see if she decides that something needs to change about that. But there you go. I appreciate y'all being here and watching. And now I have this another number first. It's great. The newness never ends, right? Okay, you guys, peace. Marshall, oh wait, if you take a picture on your cell, go to pictures and share it to Google, it will tell you a year. Well, yeah, I got it. And forgive me, you guys, I'm reading the messages real quick. Yeah, I don't trust Google. Not like that. Yeah, most things you can find, but all the fluids look the same until showed the stamp. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah, the young lady who owns this is probably going to really enjoy it. She doesn't even, to my knowledge, know how to play at all. So she'll learn on this thing. And one cool thing I'll add, I know I said goodbye earlier, but the cool thing is this is easy to hold and play, unlike most mandolins. You have to have a strap on most mandolins. So this is really kind of, you can let it on your leg, set it on your leg and play it. It's comfortable. Which, by the way, I got to put the strap back on it. All right, you guys, have a great weekend. I have a gig tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. So I'm going to get my rest tonight and go play. Right on. Yeah. Who? Joe, you ain't kidding. Let's see.